Good morning, students. Now today we are going to solve few example problems on the rate of change. Okay. Example 1. See what is given. The temperature in Celsius in a long rod of length 10 meters. So we have a long rod. We have one long rod whose length is 10 meters. Right. Insulated at both the ends is a function of length x given by T equal to x into 10 minus x. Here T is what? Temperature in Celsius, and x is what? Length of the rod. So temperature of the rod is depending on the length of the rod. If length of the rod is changes, then temperature will be changes. So prove that the rate of change of temperature. We have to prove the rate of change in temperature at the midpoint of the rod. So total length of the rod is 10 meters. Midpoint, at the midpoint, what is the length at left hand side or right hand side? It will be 5 meters. At left hand side 5 meters and right hand side 5 meters. So we have to find the temperature if the length of rod is 5 meters. We have to find rate of change in temperature if length, at the midpoint of rod means when it is the length of the rod is 5 meters. Okay. So here I am writing the given relation between temperature and length of the rod. So given T equal to x into 10 minus x. Right? Rate of change in temperature. Rate of change in temperature. Change in temperature. Temperature. At any distance. At any distance. Distance. From one end point, from any end point, from one end point. So we are finding the rate of change of any distance of the any length or any distance, any length of the rod from one end, or either you can take from this end or you can take from this end. So that will be given by dt by dx. Rate of change in temperature is depending on rate of change in length of the rod. Okay, dt by dx. Okay, how we can write? dt by dx. dt by dx means it is a rate of change in temperature when length of the rod is changes, then temperature will be changes. So dt by dx. What is the t function here? We have t function is x into 10 minus 6. No, by multiplying it, you will get 10x minus x into x square. So I got temperature in terms of x. Now I am finding the derivative dt by dx. With respect to x, I am differentiating it. You will get 10 minus 2x. Now this function will give rate of change in temperature when the length of the rod is changes. So we are finding the rate of change in temperature when length of the rod is at the midpoint of the rod. So if x is equal to 5 meters, then rate of change in temperature dt by dx is equal to 10 minus, in place of x I am substituting 5, so you will get 10 minus 10, it will be 0. So this is the question. We have to show temperature of the rod at the midpoint of the rod is 0. So we got dt by dx equals 0 when the length of the rod is 5 meters from the left hand to midpoint, or you can take right hand to midpoint. Okay. This is first question. Now go to second question. See the second question, second example. Example 2. A person length 100 watts, length 100 watts for an English test. For an English test. English test. The number of words the person remembers. The number of words. Person remembers. Person remembers in T days. in T days. Number of words the person remembers in T days is given by number of words is equal to 100 into 1 minus 0.1 into T whole square. So number of words depending on the time. So number of words remembering by the person is depending on the time. So it is related by this equality, where time is 0 less than or equal to T less than or equal to 10 days. What is the rate of change? What is the rate at which the person forgets the words, forget the words 2 days after learning, 2 days after learning, 2 days after learning, See the question. A person learn 100 words. A person learn 100 words and English test. The number of words remembers in T days is given by W of T equal to 100 into 1 minus 0.1 into T whole square. So this is the relation between remembering number of words in T days, right? What is the rate at which the person forget the words in 2 days after the learning? So if T equal to, then we have to find rate of change in number of words, dW by dt. We have to find dW by dt here. After getting dW by dt, we have to substitute T equal to, then we can get how many words he can forget in 2 days, after 2 days, right? So given relation is solution. Given relation is W of T equal to 100 into 1 minus 0.1 into T whole square. Now I am finding rate of change in words, remembering the words with respect to time, dW by dt. So dW by dt differentiated. This is the constant, leave it as it is, and whole square derivative. So you will get 2 into 1 minus 0.1 into 0.1 into T. This is whole square derivative. Again base derivative, 1 derivative 0 minus 0.1, T derivative 1, so minus 0.1. Why? Because with respect to T we are differentiating it now. So first power derivative, next base derivative. While doing the base derivative, 1 becomes 0 and T derivative is 1, so you will get the quotient minus 0.1. So here by multiplying you will get 200 minus this minus 0.1 we can write by 10 into 1 minus 0.1 into T. 0 cancel. So you will get dW by dt equal to, dW by dt is equal to minus 20. Here 1 minus T by 10 again by removing the decimal point. By taking LCM here, 10 minus T by 10. 0 cancel again. So you will get minus 2 into 10 minus T. Now if T equal to 2, after 2 days, T equal to 2 days, then rate of change in remembering the words dW by dt. Remembering the words, how many words he can remember? dW by dt is minus 2 into 10 minus 2. So this is minus 2 into 8, minus 16. Minus 16 means minus indicating the number of words he is forgetting. Plus 16 means number of words he can remember. So how many words he can remember after 2 days? How many words he can forget after 2 days? 16 words. Therefore, we can conclude that after 2 days, a person can forget 16 watts. After 2 days, a person can forget 16 watts, right? Now, next question. Example 3. Example 3. A particle moves. A particle moves. A particle moves so that the distance moved. So that the distance moved is according to the law S of t. S of t is equal to t cube by 3 minus t square plus 3. At what time? At what time the velocity and acceleration are zero respectively, So this is example 3. See what is given. A particle moves so that the distance moved is according to the law. So this is the displacement. So we have the relation between time and displacement. Displacement is represented in time function. Okay. We know the time, we can find the displacement, and we have to find the at what time velocity will be 0, acceleration is 0. Velocity, how to get velocity? If you differentiate displacement with respect to time, then you will get the velocity function. If you keep it as 0, you will get the time. And acceleration, how to get acceleration? Again, differentiate the velocity with respect to time, you will get the acceleration, and keep it as a 0, again you will get the time. Sometime at that time acceleration will be 0. So you can find the time where velocity is 0 and acceleration is 0 by using the derivative, right? Now I am writing the given relation between displacement and time. Now this is the relation between displacement and time. Solution. Given relation between displacement and time. Displacement and time is S of t is equal to t cube by 3 minus t square plus 3. This is the relation between displacement and time. Now find ds by dt. ds by dt, differentiate displacement with respect to time, that will give velocity of the particle, right? V of t, that is 3t square by 3 minus 2t. 3 cancel, this is t square minus 2t, right? Let I am taking V of t equal to 0. Velocity is equal to 0. Why? Because if you take velocity equal to 0, then you will get where at what time it will be 0. So V of t is already we got t square minus 2t is equal to 0. From this you will get t into t minus 2 is equal to 0. So t equal to 0. At time t equal to 0, then velocity is 0. At time t equal to 2 seconds, velocity will be 0. So at t equal to 0, at t equal to 0 and 2, velocity will be 0. Velocity will be 0. So at the starting, before traveling the particle, at the starting point, at starting time, the velocity is 0. After 2 seconds, particle will be stopped. At that time, velocity will be 0. Okay. Now acceleration. So I am differentiating velocity with respect to time, it will give acceleration. Acceleration is denoted by a of t. A, so it is with respect to t, no? So I am denoting by a of t. A of t equal dv by dt, dv by dt. Already we have v of t. What is v of t? T square minus 2t. This is v of t. Differentiate it. T square derivative 2t and 2t derivative. Okay. Now I am taking, let v a of t as 0. Acceleration is equal to 0. Acceleration is 0. What is acceleration function? A of t. A of t equals 0, which is 2t. 2t minus 2 equals 0. So t equal to 1. So after 1 second, after t equal to 1 second, acceleration will be 0. Acceleration will be 0. Will be 0. Okay. Now next example. Example 4. Example 4. A particle is fired up. A particle is fired up. Fired up from the ground. From the ground. To reach the height. To reach a height. To reach a height of s feet in t seconds. Feet in t seconds. T seconds. Where this relation is given as s of t. Fields is depending on 128 into t minus 16 t square. So we have the relation between the height and time. So we have to compute the maximum height. Maximum height of the particle reached. Particle reached. Second question. What is the velocity? You have to find the velocity. What is the velocity? What is the velocity when the particle hits the ground? When the particle hits the ground. Okay. See this example. We have the relation between the height and temperature. Time. We have the relation between height and time. If you know the time, then we can find the height the particle reached. Okay. First question, see, compute the maximum height. Particle can reach maximum height. At maximum height of the, if particle reaches maximum height, at that stage velocity will be 0. So if you take velocity equal to 0, you can get the time there. In that time you can substitute here, you will get the maximum height. Okay. So let me write the given relation. Solution. Given relation in feet, in height and time. Given s of t equal to 128 t minus 16 t square. Now to get the maximum height, first at the maximum height velocity will be 0. We know that at maximum height, if particle reaches maximum height, at that stage velocity will be 0. Velocity will be 0. Will be 0. So velocity, how to get velocity? V of t equal to by differentiating displacement with respect to time. So we have the time displacement in terms of time. So I am differentiating it. So 128t differentiation is 128 and 16t square differentiation is 32t. So this is the velocity. At the maximum height, if particle reaches maximum height, velocity will be 0. So I am taking velocity equal to 0. Let V of t equal to 0. If V of t equal to 0, then here 128 minus 32t is equal to 0. From this we can get 32t is equal to 128. So S of t is what? 128t minus 16t square. Writing here, right? Now t equal to what? 128 by 32 further. So in 4 seconds the particle reaches the maximum height, right? So here we can conclude that in t seconds, in 4 seconds, in t equal to 4 seconds, particle reaches maximum height. Okay. Now we have to find the maximum. What is that maximum height? To get the maximum height, the particle reaches. Which particle is reaches? To find the maximum height, we have to substitute the time in S of t. So substitute t equal to 4 in S of t. Substitute t equal to 4 in S of t. So we have S of t equal to 128 into t minus 16t square. So 128 into 4 minus 16 into 4 square. So by multiplying this, you will get S of t, maximum height equal to maximum height. Maximum height S of t is equal to 4 8 the 32, 2 free carry, 4 to the 8, 11, 1, 4 1 the 4, 5 1 2, minus 16 16 the 256, minus 256. So 5 1 2 minus 256 is 256, right? Speeds. So it can reaches 256 speeds in 4 seconds. This is the maximum height. Now we have to find the velocity when it hits the ground. When particle hits the ground. When particle hits the ground, then the height will be, if when particle hits the ground, S of t will be 0. When particle hits the ground, then distance is maximum height will become 0. Height becomes 0. So S of t will be 0. S of t is what? What is the S of t function? 128. That implies S of t is equal to 0. S of t is equal to 0. So we are finding the velocity when particle hits the ground. So when particle hits the ground, the height will become 0. No? So I am taking time, maximum height becomes 0, equal to 0. Then you get the time at the stage of particle hits the ground. We are going to find the time. If you substitute the time in velocity function, you will get the velocity when particle hits the ground. So by taking S of t equal 0, you will get 128t minus 16t square is equal to 0. By taking t common, 128 minus 16t is equal to 0. Right here you will get t equal to 0 and 128 minus 16t is equal to 0. Two factors. T equal to 0, t equal to 128 by 16 by 16. 4 table, 4 4 the 16, 4 3 the 12, 4 2 the 8, 4 8 the 32. T equal to 8 seconds. So t equal 0 and t equal to 8 seconds. The particle is at the ground. It's the ground at 8 seconds. T equals 0 means here particle is at rest, means starting says t equals 0. But when we are throwing the particle, it will hit the ground. At that time, it will go up and it will hit the ground at 8 seconds. So you have to take t equal to 8 seconds. At t equal to 8 seconds, the particle hits the ground. Right? At t equal to 8 seconds. T equal to 8 seconds. Particle hits the ground. Particle hits the ground. It's the ground. So at the time velocity will be, at that time velocity v of t is equal to, so velocity function 128 minus 32 t. So we have to substitute t here. If t equal to 8, then velocity is 128 minus 32 into 8. 128 minus 8 to the 16, 1 carry, 8 3 the 256. 128 minus 256 becomes minus 128. Minus 128 feet per second. Here minus indicating that velocity is decreasing, right? Velocity is decreasing. When particle is reaching to the ground, then velocity becomes reduces. Velocity will be reduced. So this minus indicating that velocity is reduces. When it hits the ground at the stage, the velocity will be minus 128 feet per second. Okay.